Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I see we've got Acorn popping in, Snatching first, getting a check-in. Charlie Brown coming in with the check-in. Thank you for the alert, Charlie Brown. Sin Lily coming in, Scud coming in, all with the check-in. Good to see y'all. I hope you're doing well. We're back to Satisfactory. Acorn coming with the pew. Alright, we are continuing the FICSMAS event. We have 2 more FICSMAS factories to build, and then we should be all set. One of them is an earlier priority than the other one. That one being, we are in need to take a look at the MAM and see what research we still have left to do. We need 100 wreaths for this unlock. That will allow us to create the FICSMAS Wonder Stars. And then we've got the star itself. We would like to get this snowball. We need to produce some actual snow, and we're not producing any actual snow right now. Let's see. We did set up some sloop crafting over here. We're going to try to unlock those wreaths. That should be enough, too. Are we slooped? We are slooped. Yep, slooped and overclocked. We want to unlock the recipe for the FICSMAS stars so that we can check out our line, because the wreath factory and the star factory are going to be the same factory. Where did we build that factory? We're gonna need ores. And I'm not quite sure just how much yet. But we've got our first FICSMAS factory over here. And we could have this set up to produce some actual snow. And we probably should do some adjustments on it so that we're doing that. Because we'll want that to unlock the recipe for snowballs. And snowballs will be part of the next factory that we want to build. Interesting. I see what I've done. Okay. Yes, this factory has undergone some adjustments. A couple of iterations in other worlds that I'm working on. This was the first iteration right here. And it's pretty light in terms of what it's producing versus what we actually need. Hang on. I would like to know if I set up storage in this factory for the regular baubles. I think I did. Which would mean that I could repurpose a couple of those storage containers over there. Take a look at what we have. We gotta take some time. Yeah, I see 5 storage containers. We must be. There they are. Red and blue. Filling up just fine. Why do I have so many? Oh, I think I needed those for unlocks. Okay. This factory also has a newer iteration. But that newer iteration is not storing red and blue baubles. So, if we have replaced our production for red and blue baubles, it means we don't need these storage containers anymore. And in fact, they are empty. That's why it's so empty up here. We deleted the factories for them. We are producing actual snow. at a guess, the reason we're not storing any actual snow in any of these containers is because I forgot to set... Oh, no. There it is. We're uploading. That's right. This factory did not get the sushi built. Okay, yeah, that's good. So we can delete this note that we've got over here. And there we go, 100. That's what we need, that's what we got. Let's finish the memory search.
The best idea FICSIT could come up with, to appreciate and reward pioneers for their hard work, is a gold star. How creative, but don't worry, I understand the merits of actually meaningful appreciation. When you save the day, you will understand.
Alright, and we're still waiting on snow to pile up. But we have the most important part here, which is... No, not foundry. Not foundry. Assembler. We can see what we need for the Wonder Star. Okay, so 1 Wonder Star per minute. That is our default recipe. For 1 Wonder Star per minute, we're going to need 20 candy canes and 5 FICSMAS reeds. Not bundles, reeds. And this is where we're going to run into a bit of trouble. Because we can't set... Well, we can set less than 1. Alright, hang on. We can do this. So if we overclock this to 50%, we get 5 per minute. That's going to tell us what we need in that line. We need the constructor for the candy canes. Yeah, so this is the level of complexity where the strategy of... Yeah, see, but that we can't bring that up to 20 per minute as this demands. Calculating to 1 per minute is not going to work for 1 machine each. So we'll do 0.1 so that it's a 10x calculation for each of these items. That will work out better. Yeah, you see, when you reach a level of complexity where you can't just do the 1 machine per item chain and just underclock to get the amount of the item that you actually need. 2 candy canes for 0.1 per minute star. And 0.5 wreaths for 0.1 per minute star. That's not wreaths. Now the candy canes, 0.1 per minute, needs 6 gifts. This will need another assembler and another constructor. the constructor is going to be making 3.75 FICSMAS tree branches per minute. And the assembler is going to be making 1.5 ornament bundles per minute. Which needs 1.5 ornaments per minute. And that is the copper and iron ornaments. That is the complex ones. There's a lot of steps to this one. Okay, so the copper ornament needs 3 of each ingots and ornaments, both made in smelter. Tier 6. What am I only on tier 6 for? See, is that the actual tier here? Yeah. Yep, that's all I've completed. We've still got quite a bit of automation that we have to do before we can upgrade. One of the issues I have to deal with, which is the project that's on hold for the FICSMAS event, is power. We're gonna need quite a bit more power than this for everything that we have to construct still. Alright, so 3 each. Is that right? Is that right? 2-to-1 ratio, 3 each. And then for iron, 4.5 each. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got. In terms of ingots, 4.5 makes 0.1 star per minute. 3 copper ingots makes 0.1 star per minute. And for the gifts, we need 2.25. That is 5.25. 7, 8.25, 9. 15. So to make 1 star per minute, we need 150 gifts. We need 30 copper ore. And then we need 45 iron ore. If we do 240 divided by 45, that's 5.3. It's not a lovely number. Yeah, so we can, at a ceiling of 240 ores per minute, we can produce 5 of these stars. And then for the gifts, that is going to be 150 times 5, 750 gifts per minute. That is quite a lot of those trees. And our standard 10 by 6 array supports 16 trees. So 750 divided by 15 is 50 trees. This is going to be a big factory. It's going to be a bit of power to run it. So, at 0.1 per minute, if we maximize this, we get 1 per minute. We need 5... Hang on, hang on. Five assemblers for the FICSMAS stars. Let's just see how ambitious this project is. We've got 2 per minute. We need 0.5 times 50. So that'll be 5 times 5. That's 25. I don't know why I'm calculating that like I don't already know. 13x assembler for Reeves. It's not how you spell Reeves. So what exactly do you need to automate to get to tiers 7 and 8? We have our objectives in the top right to complete phase 3. These are all constructed in the assembler. Actually, one of those might need a manufacturer. I think the motors need a manufacturer. So we have to automate... Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Versatile framework, of course. 2 of those need a manufacturer. The modular engines, which require motors, rubber, and smart plating. So this is a 2-step automation. And the adaptive control units, which requires automated wiring, circuit board, heavy modular frame, and computers. We are not automating any of these 3 things. These are all on the to-do list before we can complete phase 3. But it also requires automated wiring, so this is also a 2-step automation process. So we've got our work cut out for us. The nice thing about the computer factory, though, is that it requires oil to run, and so it will be powering itself. Okay, so 1.5 times 50 divided by 5. We need 15 assemblers for the ornament bundles. Okay, that's all the assemblers, the constructors, candy canes. We need 100 divided by 5, that's going to be 20. I should be writing down the quantities that we are producing of these as well. That is 50 times 1.5. 75. And we've got 3.75 FICSMAS tree branches. 187.5, so we need 19. That's 1.5 times 50 again, 75. That's divided by 5, 15. What is this? Copper ingots. Copper ornament. 75 iron ingot. Or iron ornaments. Oop. This is quite a project. .5 times 50 is 225. That divided by 30 is 7.5. 8 for 225. We're out of characters for our public notes. Do the copper ingots next. 3 times 50, that's 150. $5x smelter. Copper ingot. 150x. And that is 150 divided by 5. 30. And that's 4.5 times 5 divided by 10. Times 50. 225. 22 and a half. So that's our production chain. We will need a copper ore vein and an iron ore vein. Copper can actually be impure at this rate. We will get a maximum 150 fully overclocked. And then we'll need a normal iron ore vein. What do we got this way? Plenty of iron. Plenty of iron. Where's the closest copper to here? That's not claimed. Be rude. Planning factories over here. Alright, we'll rescan that. I don't think any unclaimed ones came up. Everything on this side is claimed. Let's go see over by the pit. I don't know if there's any iron nearby there. Oh yeah, music's on. Alright, let's see what we've got this way. Alright, so there's some copper that way. Can definitely use that. But, is there any iron to go with it? There, all 3 copper. Who's threatening me? Stop threatening me. We're fine, chat. Now where's the closest iron to here? That's not looking good. That is not good. That is dramatic change in elevation, effectively a different biome. Do have these over here still unused, but there's no copper over there. Gonna have to find a different spot. What's that? That's not where we came from. Hey. I see something we want. You can't get me up here. That is the same spot. It's exactly the same spot. Hang on, let's go over here to where we saw all that iron. Let's see if there's anything, any copper nearby here. Where's the... Probably up here. On the other side. This is not the priority. That's also, we've already gotten this. don't need any of this stuff. We're automating all of this stuff. This is where the iron is. All over the place over here. Where's the closest copper to here? Over there. That's usable. Alright, y'all, so I think what we're gonna do here is we're going to create a campus. And what I mean by that is this is not going to be one giant mega factory in this area. This is going to be a couple of scattered buildings that are transporting resources between each other to create that final product building. And this is a good way to make a very large project a lot more manageable as smaller pieces. So this copper node, the priority is just going to be those, words. It's going to be the copper ornaments. One of these days we'll make the automated miner factory. Still recovering a bit from being sick. See, we overclock this fully, we get that 150 per minute that we need. Now this is not a primary roadway to anything, so we can build freely here. Hey Batty, welcome in. Satisfactory's going well. We are planning out our FICSMAS Tree Star factory here. I found a location that I think I'm happy with, and we're gonna set up a campus-style factory. So it's a couple of modular pieces that are sending items to each other within kind of a close-knit area. It's gonna help make this more manageable. And it's, I mean, the buildings themselves for each of these production lines are going to fill the space. So we're trying to make 5 FICSMAS Tree Stars per minute, and the reason for that, we've only got a week left in this event. The reason for that is that we need 500 of the FICSMAS Wonder Stars in order to unlock this final upgrade for our FICSMAS tree. Also, I should not have deleted that because Just a few of them, yeah. Just a couple. If we're making 5 per minute, it will take... No, not that. It will take 100 minutes to produce enough of them for us to unlock the research, and so...
These snowballs are made from actual snow, combined with a mystery ingredient that is guaranteed to make snowballs very throwable, and your snowball fights extremely immersive and realistic. There are no low stakes with Fix-It.
Thanks, Ada. We're prioritizing this over the snowball and fireworks factory that we also want to build, because building that other factory is going to be the time it takes for all of these tree stars to fully produce. And I suspect I am going to need to do a stream this week to get this finished before the end of the event, because our FICSMAS trees will stop producing gifts, and our FICSMAS build menus will disappear on the 18th. Or after the 18th, I'm not actually sure. Nice, that lines up neatly with the world grid. I believe... If I turn this sideways... Ah, that's perfect. No clipping whatsoever. Basically, yeah. We're not gonna rush too much. Because the factories still have to look good at the end of the day. And then when the event starts up next year, we're still playing the same world. We'll get to take more advantage of everything, because it'll all start running again. A little bit of ground clipping is healthy. So we'll do our 10 by 6. Four? That's 4. Okay. We're gonna move this down too. Yeah, I'm gonna face this the other direction. I like how neatly flush that is with this. We didn't have to line up with the world grid, but it worked out nicely for us. Our logistics floor in place. Now, for this, we need 15 foundries, and we can fit 8 on a floor. It's gonna be a tall factory. So there's gonna be 2 floors of foundries. We are gonna stick with parking garages for this. Just to keep things simple. But we're kind of on a time crunch. clipping over here. Because the event ends on the 18th, Squid. That's next Sunday. Okay, so that's our 2 foundries for the copper ornaments. We'll also need 5 smelters. We'll only need 1 smelter array for that. For the copper ingots. And 30 smelters for the red ornaments. That is going to be 2 floors of smelter arrays. So I think I would like to widen this. Yeah, in fact... No, wait a second. That's not right. That would in fact be too wider. So this is 6 wide. We need 4 more. 3, 4. Let's do that here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. The problem here is this does mess with our roadway here. There is a natural road here that I now have blocked off. But we've got some space to track around. It's a little bit of a dip there, but yeah, that's fine, probably. More cleanup here, just the dirt coming through. It's gonna be dark in here. It's gonna be hard for plant life to grow in the dark. You're gonna see a little bit of clipping from this, but it shouldn't interfere. Oh, this is not all of it. Running low on concrete. Why don't we go stock up? Can't believe I haven't fixed that yet. Got all these giant parking garages here. And our concrete factory is just this little platform right here. Ah, we don't need this. That should do it for a little while. Not making it. Maybe we should have grabbed the buggy. Yeah, it's probably fine. That'll help. That'll help. Oh, this is a red jungle. There it is. Big hole. Yeah, so this is the walkway. This is not going to be in the way, although this is kind of a neat effect. Okay, and we'll need one more floor. And I think it only needs to be a half floor. Forgot I could fly, thought I just took a leap of faith. Yeah, the jetpack unlock is very handy. Although, that kind of long-distance travel, the parachute does more for you than the jetpack does. At least with this fuel type. The turbo fuel upgrade is going to be a huge boost. Also not going to be great for distance, but it's going to be a lot better for height. Send help. Squid and Rena aren't making any sense. Sorry, Acorn. I'm sure it's fine. Okay, so we need at least 5 smelters for the copper ingots here. We are going to send them to the top and then drag them down. Need our 8-piece smelter array, which this iteration of this design includes the foundations. I have removed one too many rows of foundations. So 150 divided by 8, 18.75. For the sake of ease of load balancing, we're going to follow that. Yeah, the parachute comes from one of the research trees. It's going to be under mycelium. So you unlock the mycelium, the biomass from the initial mycelium. You can get the fabric unlock, and then from there there's the parachute. And later on down the line, you can get this, which allows you to automate fabric production using plastic. So you're creating polyester instead of fungus fabric. Now we need 10 of these trees. Go off our normal. I think that should be good, right? Hang on. We have a method to this. Yep, put that on backwards. So just to reiterate what we're doing there, the orientation of the conveyor lift floor holes uses the same rotation memory as the production buildings. And so we're orienting them so that when I snap the conveyor lift to the conveyor lift floor hole, by reference, it's going to face the same direction relative to the tree each time. So I don't have to sit and rotate. It makes it easier to make these connections. And highly unlikely coming in with the check-in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And there's Batty getting check-in. Number go up. Because that's really what it's all about. Hey, these are mergers. No, these are splitters. They need to be mergers. What are these? Always forget to check the number go up in channels. Yeah, that's the nice thing about, having other people pop in to redeem it, is... You know, once you have the active community, then you get the reminders every time you pop in. So I think I'm gonna do something a little bit different with these. Just have them come over to the side so I can have this merger here. Love this. Sam forgets to tell you this, so we're doing this every 30 minutes now. Yeah, you know, I figured I'd just lean into it. I don't normally like the bot spam. I try to avoid it when I can. And the way to do that with the Discord is to occasionally remember to plug the Discord. But I keep forgetting, so that's my consequence. Is I have to make it obvious that I'm breaking my own rule because I never seem to remember to say something during the actual stream. 1530, 60. Oop, ad break. Break time. And we're back. Alright, so 30, 60, 60, 120, plus another 30, 150. I think I want to bring this down this side. That's gonna mean reorienting that the other direction, and that the other direction. There we go. And we will have our floor hole here. Slightly offset. This will be tier 3 for 150 per minute. And we need to remember that connection. So I did learn there's a bit of it's not really a bug, but I'll demonstrate it here. When you have something built like this and there's no orientation attached to it, replacing it is changing the direction. So if you have to replace and you don't have the orientation locked in place, you do have to deconstruct and completely reconstruct. That was an issue that I was running into before, where I was expecting that to already be the same direction when I just replaced it with a higher tier, and it was reversing its direction. Now, the reason we're sending that down the middle, which that is not the middle, is because that's effectively feeding the entire lower floor of smelters. One just underneath. And then these ingots are gonna feed actually, I think I want the ingots to come down the middle. I think these can come down over here, and then there will just be a splitter here. Send that way, and that will send into E. Yeah. Alright, reverse direction again. Had it right the first time. As an added bonus, because this is the center column for the whole building, I can actually line this up directly in the middle. These will still need to be offset, though. gonna be the ingots coming up from the lowest floor. Prefer it that way, or do I want to do it the other way? Let's see. All that in place. We'll come back out here, and we'll see what it looks like if we do straight going the other direction. See if it looks any different. Yeah, I think starting from here is the better way. This will be a side load. That's the one. Also, I did that wrong. The blueprint snap versus the individual item snap is slightly different, so if I had snapped that with the blueprints, we would have had it in this position instead of right here, which would have led to some funky shapes of the conveyor belt here. So, better to start from the floor and then just nudge it upwards. We've got the vertical nudge now, so it'll work out just fine. That's centered. So, that's in the wrong spot. Pasta! Welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Still working on FICSMAS over here. Popping an alert. Gotta keep plugging away at stream stuff. Yep, good luck. Alright, this is just gonna come down the one. Alright, now this floor is going to be all smelters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here to have filled my inventory. It's fine. Nope, we need the smelter array. I want the arrows to point in a uniform direction. It doesn't make much of a difference, but I want it. Should be able to pick this up now. You're not taking it from inventory before depot. No wonder it's piling up. So we need 30 red ornament, or 30 smelters to make 150 red ornaments. We've got 32. We're making 4.6875 for each smelter. It's not a lovely number. And it is, in fact, a decimal with enough precision that it's not going to show the actual production rate that we're getting on these machines. But my understanding is that it is preserving the full precision in terms of what it's actually producing. And I'm running off of what we see here. This is 4.69, but this shows 4.688. But I think that clock speed, 93.75, is going to turn out to be 4.6875 exactly. Yep. It's in the percentage. In the wrong spot then. Alright. So, blueprints, we need our loader. We want this shape. Up to 4. Ah. I shouldn't have built all these. Okay. Two, three, 4. One, two, three, 4. Turn it around. Oh, hello. Have tier 2 conveyors doing that, and then the tier 1's going this way. So 150 comes in, 75 going each way. 37.5 going to each of the smelter sets. And because we can, we're gonna have them come out this way. I'm not mistaken. I gotta double check, but I think this is a 1-to-1 ratio on these. Yep. These we do know need to be oriented this way for the unloaders. These blueprint names are not great. Should go back and fix those at some point. One more. Side load version, we need the front load version. Having these blueprints to speed up this process is so helpful. Okay, those are all connected. 37.5, 37.5, 37.5, and 37.5, and this would be 75, 75, 150. And we don't have blueprints for this part. Maybe we should. Maybe we could. Well, that is definitely not supposed to work. That is fully overlapping the blueprint maker. I don't think we need it to overlap. Go in there, let me double check. Yes. Hmm. I think we'll do halves. Just sticks. Yeah, we don't need these at all. Nope, nope. Reverse that. Factory arrays, smelter array, constructor array, foundry array, 4-piece. Alright, here we go. So we've got 16 foundries for 75. 4.6875, same number. No, no, that's not how we're doing that. Alright, we will do... these. You can see the advantage we're getting out of having those oriented the same way. I don't have to sit and rotate between these two. It does make it less clicks. It does make it easier. No? Not there either. Eh. Are those not... Those are not centered to each other. Those are our blueprints. They were all messed up. Yep. Line them up incorrectly. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's go fix the blueprints. This is fine. So these ones are good, these ones are not. Okay. Now I put them back. Alright. That's better. Autosave ate my click. But that's functioning much better. We're getting nicer good at this. Be all of them. That's all of them. Okay. So because the center, or because the outputs of these are not center, they're offset, and end up with the curves. And we'll have a correction. Each array of 4 smelters, so we can keep the belt length uniform. For the most part, we try our best to keep the belt lengths uniform for everything that we load balance, so we don't have any kind of weird staggering as we're starting up. And minimize that as much as possible. Of course, once we get all this built, we have to get power up here. It's gonna be a fun trick. And the next detail is, where is this coming out? And that might actually change once we get that in the last factory built. Won't be too much of a challenge to work out. How many of these are we producing? 75 total, so it's tier 2 coming out. Oh yeah, I have to reprogram these. So we will start everything coming this direction. Okay. When it does that, oh, I see. Needs to be 5. And that will be 10. And this is why this was offset, so we get that depth. Ends up looking really good from the outside. Now, on these floors, we're going to have these large columns, the production floors. For the logistics floors, we have actual logistics passing through the center, that line there. You can see it right here. So we're going to have to handle that differently. I have a plan. We're clipping into these splitters in a way that I think works well. But the idea here is if you were to delete one of these, this giant column is in fact resting on these smaller columns. So while the smaller columns are oriented in a way that provides the space for the big one, or provides the space for the conveyors in between, they also still provide actual support for the giant column, without the giant column just pushing on a weak spot in the concrete. Alternatively, we could just say that these are load-bearing splitters. Alright, let's do our walls. Yeah, that's not full width. So we're going to set the color. We have these over here. Cover walls. Install our railings. We need stairs. These stairs are going to be a little bit... Oop, that's not going to be the spot up there. It's going to be a little bit different from what we usually do, where we usually have them one right next to the other. We're going to do the opposite here. We're going to space them. This one... That's what I thought. Okay. And we'll do our railings. Right? That's right, yeah. Wrong button. Okay. Now we can close up the upper floors and still access them. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark here. And we'll have an ad coming soon. Wrong button. Welcome in, Zach. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. We are wrapping up the first building of our FICSMAS Wonder Star campus. We're grinding. We definitely don't have enough time in today's stream to get this entire thing done, so we're definitely gonna have to find some time this week, an evening this week, to move on, to continue on with the next steps. We need our single height walls. And we still have to add power to everything. Where are they? Architecture. It's you know, it's for our Wonder Stars. We gotta produce the gifts. Saving humanity, you know. These are all building as copper. There's my 1 minute notice. The ad's gonna start soon. And hopefully finish up the architecture here. The railings before that ad starts. Love how you can just build a whole wall in one go. So refreshing from Minecraft. It is refreshing until you start to realize that the scale of what you have to build in Satisfactory as you start to get into the later game, it just escalates so quickly. I need this. The reason you can build so much in one go is because you have to build so much in one go. That ad's gonna start going relatively soon. Yes, January 18th is the last day of the event. The trees will stop producing gifts. The FICSMAS buildables will no longer be available. You'll be reduced to just whatever you have already built in your world, and it will not run again until the next time the event comes around. Yep, 1 week. Next Sunday. I'm on a time crunch. There's the ad. Break time. And we're back. And I forgot to change my scene for a second. It's fine. Not the smelter. Not the basic wall. Whoop. Oh, Zach. Thanks for the subscribe. We're getting there. We're getting there. The milestone we're gonna reach before we end stream today, we've got this, which is making our iron ornaments. Or our copper ornaments. We're gonna make the one that does our iron ornaments as well. Never ads again. I mean, if you're just trying to, like, not watch ads, I feel like Turbo might be a better value, but I do appreciate the support nonetheless. Alright, now we need power. Here to support just being cheeky. Well, I appreciate it. Okay, these require no power, because that makes sense. Yep, hang on. That's gotta be... because we can't half-nudge these for some reason. Perfect. Got it. Right where I want it. Oh, nope. There we go. Of course, got all this wiring together. Now we gotta come over here because we gotta bring this down the column again. A little excessive on the foundry floors. But it's nice to have the pattern consistent. Gentle nudge. A little prod. Oh, you're stuck. Alright, I'll tell you what. I think you might just be a little bit shy, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you some space. You know, I'm just gonna go a bit of a distance this way. Hopefully, you know, when I get far enough, you know, you'll feel the confidence to get yourself unstuck, and we'll come back. I haven't tracked if they, like, are actually just fully spawning inside of the building, or if they're somehow wandering up there. I never seem to be paying attention at the right time. Have a buggy back here? I do have an explorer back here. Okay. That's good. I could use the explorer. Actually, I want to go this way. Alright, and we'll just drive back, you know. It's a nice leisurely drive. Watch out for the bird. Go this way. That's fine. Hoping to make it to the road over here. Not the best landing. But that's alright. Could have been worse, yes. I could have missed and landed in the water. Yeah, we got trucks. That's our coal plant back there. Here, let's go take a look. I believe those are just tractors. Yeah, because we've got our coal all the way back here. And why build these long conveyor belts all the way down to the water where the coal factories actually are? And we could just have the tractors here. Just bring them down for us. And the thing is, they're transporting coal. Just overclock one of the coal nodes a little bit, and you're providing fuel for them as well. Each of those factories is consuming 120 coal per minute. They're all overclocked to 200% because when you overclock a power production facility instead of a materials production facility, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So twice as much coal provides twice as much power, as opposed to if you are producing like twice as much ingots from a smelter, the power cost there rises exponentially. So those 4 coal power plants are producing 4,800 megawatts of power. Between 32... I'm lost. Between 32 coal power plants. I'm lost. I don't remember how to get to my factory. Don't know where I am. My factory's over there. I'm not lost. I am, in fact, going the direction I want to go. No, I'm not. This goes back to coal. I need to go up that way. But there's no ramp that way. I need to get up there. Uh-huh.
That went well.
Thanks, Ada. Walk of shame. At least that what now, Zach? It's over there. Walk of shame. It is a setting. I could very much click the setting so that I keep my inventory, or at least keep my equipment. Would make my life so much easier. But we're doing the walk of shame. It's fine. It's not that far. Don't remember how many days since the last incident we started with. How many we'd be up to by now. Tickets? Ooh. I think that's the most tickets I've accrued in one of those before collecting. So, the problem is that when you throw a Nobelisk at a spitter, as it spits, when the spit makes contact with the Nobelisk detonates. When you are standing on top of the spitter when you do this, you get the full force of the detonation. Working on my game takes a little setup and practice to get back into, but I'm still listening. Oh, of course. I think I've got a few folks that are watching and playing at the same time. At least the area's safe. Um... Does my detonator no longer affect these nobelisks? Are these just stuck here forever now? Hmm. Elite Dangerous. Interesting. I haven't heard of it. You wanna say a little bit about what it's what kind of game it is, what it's about? The reason for all of this doing some clearing. It's very inconvenient to not be able to just get up here. Oh, that's not safe. Hi, guys. Yes, 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 I know. Spaceflight sim, but has rovers and ground combat too, but its space travel is where it shines. Lots of fun, pirating, bounty hunting, smuggling, exploration, etc. Reminds me of Firefly's universe, kinda. Okay. It sounds kind of similar to, Outer Wilds. My limited familiarity with that game. Larger scale, it has the entire Milky Way galaxy mapped. Really? That is kind of a terrifying thought, because I didn't get very far into Outer Wilds because it felt like it was too large scale. We're making a ramp. It's really... I could do the full 4-meter steepness. Yep, but it's an intense or it's as intense or small scale as you make it, depending on if you leave the populated bubble of space or not. Gotcha. Does it have, like, terraforming and stuff? Like, are you able to, expand the populated bubble of space? That was something... I very much miss Spore for that. This is way too tight. Where you could terraform basically the entire Milky Way galaxy if you sat and spent the time working on that. It was a very ambitious endeavor, but it was really cool to have these, effectively uninhabitable planets become become major colonies in your empire. Sort of. The devs hold events every year, sometimes multiple times a year. Right now, they are running an event called Distant Horizons, where the community flies to the other side of the galaxy and creates settlements there. So it does have a settlement builder as part of the main gameplay. No, I have to check it out. Ow. So those glitched nobelisks that we can't do anything with because they have been decoupled from our detonator. They're hidden. We'll never see them again. Just gonna cover them up. Fine. We'll grab the coal. So much coal from these little things. And the thing is, you never need to manually mine that much coal. By the time you're worried about it, you're automating all that. Oh, I did the concrete instead of the asphalt, didn't I? It doesn't matter, you don't see it. It matters because I care about it. Anyway. Yeah, we can do some clearing here, too. Alright. Back to what we were doing. Our shy friend has gotten himself unstuck. All is well. That's all this endeavor was just getting far enough away for our shy friend to get himself unstuck. I hope... Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I hope you appreciate how much I do for you. As you go and get yourself stuck again. Now, so, we've got power to everything. We're all hooked up. There's a problem. Hey, Maple, welcome in. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. And that problem is... This is a FICSMAS factory. And we could do more than just wire this place up. Look at the pretty lights. Look how lovely. Need to get some groceries today, but otherwise pretty good. That's good to hear. Not so much on the groceries part, you know. Nobody likes having to go to the grocery store. See, look how much nicer that looks. That's a FICSMAS factory. Pretty lights everywhere. And look, it even lights up the area. A little bit. It's a bit of an interesting bug with the FICSMAS lights, where if you highlight a connection point and then move your cursor away, the highlight might stay there. It's supposed to disappear as soon as you stop targeting it. But there we go. Our first building. All set up. Now over in this direction, we'll have all our iron. I think we'll use these two back here. There's a hole in the ground. Spiders in the hole in the ground. Oops. What's down here? Anything good? Ah, holes in the wall. I don't think I can actually blow these up. Can't. You probably want to close up this hole in the ground. A little unsafe. Spiders and stuff down there. You know what it is? Caterium, it's in the way. There we go. That's OSHA compliant. These are impure, so we will need 2 of them. Now. I need plenty of space, because this is going to be another 12 by 10 foundation factory. Alright, that's a starting point. World grid is not so satisfying this time. But I think we hit 45 degrees here. Yeah, there we go. We want to edit this list. We're going to cut out the red ornaments. Those are done. Copper ingots. Those are done. cut out the smelter count. And now our whole to-do list actually fits on one page. Five by 5 foundations here. Speed this up quite a bit. Yep. That wrong. Placing 25 foundations at a time is a lot more efficient than placing 10 at a time. Okay. So like before, we need the 16 foundries for the iron ornaments. Four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The blueprints do so much to make this easier. These are going to be the iron this time. 0.6875. Is that right? 4.6875, that's the number. Now these need... 3 times 4.6875. 14.0625. Now that is going to be 225 divided by 14.0625. That's 16. Why did I need that number? What was that? What is that number supposed to mean? It doesn't mean anything. 7.03125 is going to be our smelter arrays numbers. .03125. It's not aligned correctly. All the others are. .03125. Hmm. .516. 112.512. Hang on, we need 225 of these total. And it's a 1-to-2 ratio, so 112.5. We need to produce 112.5 gifts. We're gonna need a sink. Yep. Keep stuff under my desk. 9.375 is a nicer number. Only one of these is required for the iron ingots. So, I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna use 3 of these. 9.375. I think the iron ingots are back here. Yep, here they are. So these are going to be the iron ingots. 25 divided by 8 is 28.125. Which is the percentage that we're already set here. Which is convenient. These are going to be the iron ingots. Those three are going to be the blue baubles. $9.375 divided in half. 4.6875, that is the same number, that's what I thought. 4.6875 times 24, 112.5. That's the number we already got. Chain 30, that would be 60 if we just did it on this floor. Hang on, because that means 6 that way. And then the tree will just be up here. And we'll have to sink some of them. This is otherwise exactly as many trees as we need. 3, 4... 2, 3, 4. Hopefully that lines up well enough. Yes, perfect. Now we're doing a three-way split here. So we have to make sure we're splitting these evenly. So I'm gonna split them just like that. Now, do I have concrete pillars arranged correctly so that they're not flipping through? That is acceptable. Stop turning my zoop off. I know, it's because I died. So this is going to be a front load array. It's going to be one. One, two, three, four. This is also going to be a front load array over here. And then this is going to be a side load array. And we've got another rod coming up in about a minute. What is that, 225 at that point? Yes. Loader number 1. Where's he at? Break time. And we are back. Every once in a while, I won't get the microphone position quite right. Like, it'll be too close, it'll be too in my peripheral vision, and it feels like the microphone is invading my personal space. Alright, we've got all the connections to make. One more. Blown away by how quickly you snap those connectors together without even thinking about it. Sometimes I could put a little more thought into it, so I don't end up with something weird happening, like, you know, just as an example. That is a horrible exaggeration, like, obviously those are too far apart, but, you know what I mean. Like, I did almost do this, which is not right. It will technically get the job done, but it's not. We can do better. We can do better. Okay, but I do need to... Ow. So yeah, here's the downside of the 45-degree angle, is these don't have 45-degree angle snaps. Got, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18, 36 snap points. So we get 360 degrees in increments of 10 degrees at a time, and I need an increment of 5 degrees right here. Fine, whatever. Two, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Okay, so this is our center point. I'm gonna put the merger right here. Walls, we'll go ahead and do this line first. This taken care of. But yeah, Zach, you do this enough and the muscle memory kicks in. And having built those built those arrays that I have the blueprints for manually so many times, I know exactly what the layout is. So I know where to expect those snap points to be. Logistics. This... We can do the thing again. So it's nice to have those conveyor wall holes where you can snap to any point on the wall. But it's also nice to be able to actually see through the hole. I was pretty good at wiring ship internals in Empyrean, but if I went back today, I'd completely forget. One day I'll give this game a go. Oh, you haven't played before? For some reason, Zach, I can really see you getting into this game. I feel like you could sink a lot of time into this. It does get cathartic. Ah, I see. I have miscalculated. It which is a good thing. Believe it or not. Because it means that this pillar will not interfere. Up you go. Nope, don't need this. This is a side load configuration. Do I have the power shards in my inventory? I don't think so. I do. Okay. $112.5. $112.5. That's $225 coming up to these smelters. Which are already configured. Autosave ate my click. Blueprints. Now we need the side load unloader. The loader unloader language is horrible for this. I really need to fix that. It does not feel intuitive to me. I do keep getting them mixed up. Like, are we unloading from the conveyor belts to the smelters, or are we unloading from the smelters to the conveyor belts? Which direction are we going? The answer is we're unloading the smelters, but still throws me off trying to remember which way it's going. So we have to make sure we're upgrading these belts. Is that right? Are these producing 9.375. 25, yes, okay. Alright, we did our math right. Let's come on down here and get all these set up. Smelter. Splitter, not smelter. Right, put that in place. All the connections. Right. We need these splitters as well. So we've got 225, it's marked tier 3, so it's going to be tier 2 coming out of these to each side. Not tier 4. Mark 4. One of those words. Gotta load everything up with the ingots and the blue baubles. And then we'll have the unload. And we're making 75 in total, so it's not until the very end here where this becomes tier 2. Everything else will be tier 1. And once again, we're working with foundries. Foundries do not have centered outputs. Which means we have to drop these down first so we can find that center point. There it is. It's logistics. We're all set there. Let's get our architecture set up, and then we'll do the power. And then we will close it up. Probably gonna need... Yep, there's a third. That gets all 10. Bring that up. Same as before. The production floors, we'll do the big column down up the center. And then on our logistics floors, we'll have the 4 little columns. Provide that necessary support. This floor up here is all trees. We don't need any power up here. We'll need power down here. Let me back one further. Okay, foundations, half foundation. What? Do at least have the railings all placed the right color. Just come back and do the stairs. Oops. There we go. Alright. All iron for the stairs. And we could do these as well. Do this on the copper factory. Does that change anything? Iron on these has a certain vibe to it. Interesting. Alright. Let's do the walls. Close it up, and then power. The downside of doing this in steps the way that we're doing it is that we're not turning these on today. We're not going to bring the power over from a distance. We're just getting these factories built. So it won't be until a later stream where we get to see if I built these correctly. Did I fit through these doors? I do. Yes. Perfect. Oop. Okay, logistics floor walls are done. Almost there. Okay. Just needs power. I think we are going to go back over to the copper factory and repaint those machines to the copper finish. I like that idea. So instead of going through, doing all these irregular cables, and then coming back and fixing them, we'll just do the FICSMAS cables from the start. It's kind of a shame that these light up without power. It's a common builder's technique in Satisfactory to use item signs as light sources. This is a technique you will not see me use, because it's one, dependent on your graphics settings being high enough for them to emit enough light. Which, well, I have the graphic settings. If, say, I were to make one of my worlds available for download, I don't necessarily know that somebody who wants to pour it and appreciate it is going to have high enough graphic settings for that. And two, because there are actual lights in the game, but they require you to work out how to power those lights, it feels really cheaty to me to just skip that challenge. And just use signs instead. So I am kind of cheating by using the Christmas lights here. However, it is the FICSMAS factory. And it would be wrong to not have the FICSMAS lights. They're here for. Trouble with targeting, we're fine. There we go. Power connected. This factory, until we have the point where, or the next building we're going to connect it to, is done. Let's go paint the next factory. Or the last factory. Alright, there we go. Copper and iron ornaments. Both ready to move on up. We no longer need the 8 smelters for the iron. We no longer need the 23 smelters for the blue ornaments. We have them. We no longer need the 15 foundries for the iron ornaments. It says I just had the most hellish protein bar. That is unfortunate. The macro bars are buns. I'm not familiar with them. Let's see what else we got. So we've got our work cut out for us on these. We've got 40 constructors we have to make. So that's going to be effectively 2 floors of these arrays that we have for the smelters here. And then we're going to have 2 floors of 16x assemblers. And this is all... Oh no, just these 2. These 2 and the wreaths are going to require... We're waiting for the wreaths? Let's put it somewhere. The tree branches. We don't have that in there anymore, so we don't have... Okay. So the 20 constructors for the candy canes to make 100 candy canes. And 19 constructors for the tree branches to make 187.5 of the tree branches. Now I had mentioned needing to... What? Fine. My posture's great. I've got great posture. I mentioned needing to sync some of the gifts, because we are overproducing gifts for this. We needed... How many? Fully called out. 4.6875 times 24, 112.5. So we are producing an extra... $7.5 here. Now, normally we should sync the extra. And that helps keep our power in check. It keeps everything in a nice straight line. However, these don't require any power. The worst that's going to happen is they're just going to get backed up, and we're just going to have a full conveyor belt, which we're going to have anyway, because, well, we've already set up the whole conveyor line and connected the trees at the top. Since these won't affect the power, we're just going to let them overproduce. We're not going to worry about syncing any of those gifts. It's fine. We'll just let it go. Gonna have a building where we bring both of these together. Ooh, I hear a shiny. Ah, it's a yellow slug. That's fine. And that's gonna be where we make the ornament bundles, is that building where we bring both of those together. Might put it back here, kind of like a bridge over top of this. That might be neat. We'll see. I'll have to work that out. That is going to be something for next stream. For this stream, we're going to drive our buggy home. Rude. Please don't be the void below. Hey, it's not the void below. We're gonna drive our buggy home, we're gonna go hang out in the hub, and we're gonna find somebody to raid. Got 2 pieces of our FICSMAS Wonder Star campus together. And we might only need 2 more buildings to get everything together. Should take some time off stream to plan that out. No, I'm a great driver. I'm the best driver. Do some inventory clean out. Oh no, yeah, we can drop this. I don't think I'm handling hard drives. I don't think I can just drop those in there. Let's take a look at our research tree. We just need the stars. Let me scan the hard drive. Let's see. 2 days since last incident. That's not surprising. We died today. Forgot to record it. Alright, let's wrap up. Who do we have that we can raid today? Do a quick refresh, make sure I can see everybody that's on. Let's go raid Kimmy. We haven't raided Kimmy in a while. So, y'all know the drill. First raid out messages if you're not subscribed. Second raid out messages if you are subscribed. Thanks again for everybody for being here, for hanging out. We'll be live again tomorrow with Acorn. We've got a new game that we'll be playing together. We're starting up a new save on. So yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Go have fun over with Kimmy. Here we go.